Well, I think the most central, fundamental element in the parental debate on education is that you love your children just as much as your neighbor loves their children. In the black community, we love our children just as much as parents love their children in the white community. We don't love our children more than a Hispanic mother or father loves their children, or a Native American mother or father loving their children. And so the values that we share are the exact same values as someone in another community. They want the best for their child, just like you want the best for your child. So it is possible to change the entire structure of the system off of the value system that we all already share. And to that extent, from my perspective, and I'm sure there are others who'll take great exception to the comment I'm about to make, I don't think we have to racialize it. I don't think it's about the racial gap. If we fix the education system for all of our children, our small coalition becomes a huge coalition in very short order, because the same Constitution that frees us is going to free them too. I mean, we all get out of slavery on the same day with the passage of the 13th Amendment. No Hispanic child or parent will ever end up in slavery because of the struggle that we fought for. Everyone is entitled to civil rights because of what we fought for. Everyone has the right to vote because of what we fought for. So we can lead it, but it must be, from my perspective, in terms that includes all Americans, and our coalition grows exponentially overnight.
But Dr. Glover, the haves feel no need to fight for change. They fight to maintain. And they feel that our demands for equality is a threat to their comfort zone. So you have the pain side and you have the comfort side, and those on the comfort side become very intolerant of hearing about those who are seeking to even the playing field. Dr. Glover?
I agree that is the thinking, that the playing field has been even, and that we've done enough for the folk at the very tip top of the profession, and we want to equalize it across the board, which means we're not taking education seriously. We're not looking at the resources that are needed. We're not looking at teachers that are being hired that are not qualified to teach. We're not looking at the caseload, the workload, the number of students that are sitting in classrooms that are terribly overcrowded, the infrastructure, the issues that are alive and well in our colleges, universities, as well as the high schools. Because as you know, by the time they get to the colleges, universities, if they have not been successful, if it's failed at the high school level, there's no way that you're going to start out at a lower level, a slower pace, and then catch up with the person that you're competing with at the college level. So we must work at the elementary and secondary level so that by the time they get to the college level, it will not be as difficult a challenge to get through the college life.
Let me cut this another with you, Dixon. I've seen a couple of societal changes where at some point the South saw our civil rights demands as in its interest. So when the barriers came down, those who were blocking doors were the first to prosper. Because of our success, you can now have the Olympics in Atlanta. You can now have the Dallas Cowboys and the Atlanta Falcons, because they saw the advantages of letting the out in. In South Africa, at some point, white Africans saw the advantage of Mandela being the president, because his very presence could open them up out of isolation. I get the impression that many Americans now see that an Obama presidency is in America's interest, that to move from where we are and the Bush faces to a global personality can open up America out of a certain kind of isolation. What must we do to get America to see that it is to our advantage to end the disparity in education?
Well, we must point out the value of educating every youth, and how that if we don't spend the right money at the beginning and educating every child in preschool education, then we'll end up spending more money in building prisons on the back end, and so that we all come out falling short. But I think,
in other words, I suppose, April, we didn't know how good baseball could be so everybody could play. I remember with all of those who blocked the doors to lock us out of those schools. At some point, when the coaches saw the advantages of inclusion, when those who had the power saw the advantages, the paradigm shifted. I often argue that the second most significant change agent to Dr. King in Alabama was Bear Bryant. He took his all-white team to the Orange Bowl game and got humiliated twice. So he would not get caught again in the more with slow backs running in big bowl games. And so when the culture saw the advantage in change, and really the change didn't come bottom up. To that extent, it came, Congressman, your hands up.
Yes, sir. I think language is important. Language is very, very important in this discussion. There's 6 people on the panel. And if every person on the panel has an apple, but the gentleman at the end has 12 apples, and we say we want to equalize education, that means he has to take some of his apples and give me some, give her some, give him some. Now we equal. Everybody got 3 apples each. We got 6. Started out with 6, 1 each, and he had 12 apples. That's 18 apples. We say we want equalized. I've heard it several times already. Equalized, equalized, equalized. That means we want to take some of his apples and give everybody 3 apples. Now we're all equal. That's not what we're fighting for. We don't want to take any of his apples. He got 12 apples. All of these school districts up here want 12 apples. We don't want to take from him and move it this way. We all want to be moved up to 12 apples. That's very, very important in the debate about not taking something, Reverend, from one of the more affluent school districts and moving it to poor school districts, because you can't win that
So
debate.
don't pull them down, lift these up.
Correct. It's not a zero-sum game. That's why equal high-quality language becomes very, very important.
Phil?
In this discussion.
Not only might we want 12 apples, because we've been so far behind, we might need 15 apples. We might need 20 apples. Whatever it takes to make our children whole is what we need. And so, Reverend, I want to end with this. Those who control the education of the children, they control the future of that race. And right now, we are not controlling the future of our race. It is time for us and everybody. I want Latino people to control the future of Latino children. I want Asian people to control the future of Asian children. But I want black people to control the future of black children.
Dr. Garrett, last point.
Well, as Congressman Jackson put it earlier, the reality is no one disputes who loves their child more. And I would venture to tell you, we have over 25,000 units across the country. And no matter what state I'm in, or even if I'm at a Department of Defense school in Germany, those parents want the same thing for their kids as I may want for Selma, Alabama, or New Orleans, or any other state in this country. Our challenge becomes, how do we get folks engaged at the very local level to ensure that we're moving forward? It's a national discussion, and while at the same time you have folks on the Hill fighting it there, you've got to go back to your respective community and demand more, because you deserve that as an option.
Let me say this as we
level.
close, and it's been such a great session, and that is that number one, effort must always exceed opportunity. The game starts 0-0. But at the end of the day, effort must exceed opportunity. The will to run, the work to win must kick in someplace. The fire must be burned, and teachers, parents must light that fire and keep that fire sustained. But when they can't, the community must help those parents and compensate and be a crutch for them. We need to lean on it, because if your neighbor's house is on fire, don't say they are a firebug and I'm a good guy, because the wind blows and you are next. And so none of us are safe. All of us are safe. I want to thank you today for your commitment to working with us to think to a plan to educate and salvage all of our children, therefore salvage our national interests. God bless you.